as with most teaching units, things usually get wrapped up in some type of assessment. So for our final Module 4, we're going to look at just that, and that's by using Google Forms. Google Forms is a great tool with many different purposes. You can use this to collect information on students, maybe collect a quick knowledge checkpoint for a pre-assessment, use it to collect survey data, or even check students' learning in a post-assessment. What's great is that with Google Forms, you can include a variety of question types, which could be multiple choice questions, check boxes, fill in the blanks, or even written response questions. What's also great is that you can include images or video for questions if necessary. It will also present all of the collected data to you in an easy-to-read format following the completion of the Google form. With every use of your form, you will receive all the results in a time-stamped spreadsheet that will update with each entry on this form. So whether you're using this for a survey data in a graduate course or perhaps a chapter test for a 10th grader, it will give you each piece of information all in one spot. If you create a quiz assessment, you can also have it even report results back immediately to your learner by giving a self-graded quiz. And this is what you're going to be doing for your final assignment. So using the content that you delivered through the slideshow in Module 3, you are now going to develop an assessment for your students to share their learning from that slideshow. You can stick around here to watch me do it on the video, or you can go ahead to the step-by-step portion with pictures and tackle this for yourself. I look forward to completing your quiz, and thank you for joining me in the Google Workspace module. Hi folks, and thank you for joining me for Module 4 as we examine how to build a Google quiz using Google Forms. So as always, log into your Google account, go ahead and click on the Google waffle here or whatever you would like to call it. We're going to scroll down to the purple icon here, Google Forms. So when you are creating this, there are many different options that you can do here. We're going to go ahead and just create this from blank just so I can show you how to switch this over to a quiz on your own. This is very important as by default, it's not going to create a quiz here. It's just going to be a form collection, something that you can use to collect data. So we need to change it to a quiz. So we're going to click over to Settings, and you'll see right from the top here, make this a quiz, which will allow me to assign point values, set answers, and automatically provide feedback. So just by toggling this, we now have a Google quiz, and you can see how you would like to kind of set up your quiz here. So would you like the grade to be immediately given to the student, or would you like to do that after you've already checked the quiz, which you can do as well. You can lock it down so that students cannot use other tabs or applications, sort of similar like a secure test. You can toggle that if you like. You can also toggle some of the different things here, how much would you like each question to be worth? Can you see correct answers after the test is released? And, can you show questions that were missed? You can also set your default point value. Usually it'll set it to 1 automatically, but if you would like every question to go to, say, 5 points, you can do that here kind of before you get started in it. It will save you some time down the line there. So now that we have created a quiz, we're going to click back over to our question. So the first thing I'm going to do is title my quiz here, and I'm just going to type it as Google Quiz. And then I might give some directions here. Please complete the quiz using your skills from Module 3. Now, for our quiz, you are going to be creating your questions based on the content you taught in your Google slideshow from Module 3. So I'm going to kind of show you how to go about doing some different questions here because as a part of your assignment, you will need to include some different question types. So let's go ahead and jump right in on doing so. This is sort of one of the things that I like to do. You can call it a Google hack if you like. I know sometimes is good to know some of these hacks. Now, you see here that when we changed it to a quiz, it is now automatically collecting emails, and that can be depending on what your basis for your Google account is. Mine happens to be in Access, so it automatically collects their emails. But just to make sure that I am giving the grades to the correct person, I always like to put this as sort of my uh, beginning question or the first question on the quiz. I just ask for my students to please give your first and last name. That could be for a variety of reasons. I'm going to go ahead and click this over to required. And for the answer key, I'm going to put it to 0 points because this is not going to be something that's graded. And then students will just type in their first and last name there. That just is kind of my way of safeguarding that nobody gets their grades mixed up and points are assigned to who they need to belong to. But again, that is optional. You don't have to do that, but I would definitely recommend that. So that way kind of easily keeps your grades all in order as these tests come through and grade themselves. So from there, you're going to go ahead and click over here to add a new question. Now, it's important to note that you're going to want to make sure you toggle required for every question on your quiz, because otherwise students or your test takers can just go ahead and skip right past that. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And you see we have many different question types that we can choose from. So we're just going to start with a basic question here. And you can type in whatever you like, again, that's relevant to your content. I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video while I type up a question real quick, just so I don't waste your time. So you see I've added my question there. The sky is typically associated with what color? Now, if I want to make that a 2-question or a 2-option question, I'll go ahead and I have to have at least one option. So I'm going to go ahead and put blue. I'll put green. And I will put orange. And for this question, maybe students might say, well, sometimes the sky is orange. So, make sure when you are creating your questions, you want to adhere to those best practices and make sure that there is one clear answer for your question. For the purposes of mine, I just did a sort of a mock question there. But now I'm going to click to my answer key. I need to, again, if I would like to change the point value for this question, otherwise it's going to set to my default, which I kept at 1. And I'm just going to choose which one of these I would like the correct answer to be. So blue, so if students choose blue, they will get that question correct. And if I would like to put an immediate response, I can enter some feedback here for those that get it incorrect or those that get it correct. I can also link them to an explanation. Perhaps if it's a math question, you might link them to an example of how to do that problem, which you can type in the link there, or link them directly to a YouTube video that you have chosen, which you don't have to do, but just wanted to point that out. So after that, I will click done, and now my first question is complete and ready to go. Again, I'll just go down to add another question, and we will move on from here to the next question type. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and choose a checkbox question. I'm just going to include another question here, so I'll go ahead and type that up. And I'm going to add my choices as well for this question, so I'll be back in one moment. So you see I chose check boxes for this question, and I'm going to give 5 choices for this question. Which of, little typo there, so I can just go back and fix that. Which of these has a short vowel sound? And I chose grow, fly, cat, tree, and log. Now for the check boxes question, I'm going to click on my answer key. I can have multiple answers that are correct. So, or I can have no answers that are correct. So just leave it blank and see if students can recognize that. So for mine, I have 2. And at a 1-point question, it will likely split these up into both getting half a point correct. So if they get 1 out of 2 correct answers, they might get half a point credit for that question. So just important to note that Google will do that if you choose for them to do that. So now that that question is done, I'm going to make sure I toggle it to required and go to the next question here. So for my next one, I'm going to show you one more question type just because this one can be a little tricky. I'm going to choose a short answer question, and I'm going to go ahead and type in, what is the currency we spend in America? Now, depending on the age of your students, you might have to account for spelling mistakes. So again, before we do that, I made sure I had to click required. Now I'm going to go into my answer key. So with a question like this, I am going to type in all of my accepted answers. So I might say $1. But I also want to account for if a student types in a dollar bill. That way, if they type in $1 or a dollar bill, both answers will be correct. I might even decide to type in dollar, but spelled with only one L to account for spelling mistakes. It depends how strict you want to be with your grading on these questions, but note that if the student types in something that you have not designated as a correct answer, the question will automatically be marked wrong if you click mark all other answers incorrect. By doing this, this is going to make this a self-grading question. The only acceptable answers for this question would be a dollar bill, or a dollar that I've accounted for a spelling error. If I would like to manually grade this, I might want to leave this unchecked and go be able to mark that incorrect or correct after I've manually reviewed each student response. This is for the short answer questions. For the paragraph answer, you have to automatically go and grade that yourself. There is really no way for that to be self-grading just because it can vary so much from student to student. And lastly here, I'm going to show you how you can input video or image on your questions. That'll be my last piece here. I thank you for sticking with me on the longer video here, but I want to make sure I show you how to do everything on Google Forms so that you can create a quality assessment. So after I have typed in my question here, I'm going to choose my question type. I can go ahead and click right over here to add an image. I can upload an image. I can paste a URL. I can choose a photo. There's a photo of myself, automatically was found on my computer. I can also choose something from my Google Drive, or I can search right from Google Images. And I'm just going to type in our dog once again, and we'll click on our buddy here and insert him into the question. Now I might say, what do you see pictured here? And then I can go ahead and put all my sort of different answers there. What do you see pictured here? And then below that, I would actually go ahead and include the choices there. Cannot put them together. So it would have, as you notice, when I click on this, there is no required that comes up because Google Forms has recognized that I have included an image there, so I cannot put the question on the same one. I'll just type my question right below what is pictured. And then just like normal, I will do everything just like I did before. Choose my question type, put in my choices, and then designate which one is the correct answer. And video works almost the same way. I'm going to go ahead and delete my picture there, or delete my entire question. I am going to add a video. And again, I can search from YouTube or go ahead and paste my URL. And it's going to paste it has to be from YouTube. So you will do the same thing there. We'll just go ahead and try to find my video from my previous module. And when I search more specific, my video pops right up. I know we had kind of talked about that in the last one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I can say, please watch the video. And then maybe after that, I have we'll say 3 questions that I want to ask related to that video. And so I just click on question, question, question. Then I can go ahead and set those up there. According to the video above, you saw this. According to the video, you saw this. Or whatever you would like to do there. But there is an option to include that video here that you can then have students go ahead and watch the video while taking the test. And from there, it's going to go ahead and, as students complete this, fill in your responses there. What I usually like to do is always test the form and make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to. And that will also allow me to have a response there, and I can kind of use that as my answer key, or however you would like to do it. But it'll automatically upload all your responses and then put them into a spreadsheet for you by clicking this right here. And as those fill up there, you'll see the information kind of add to this sheet here. And you can also transfer that to a spreadsheet, which we learned about back in Module 2. So from here, you have everything you need for operating the basics of Google Forms. I appreciate you sticking around for the longer video again, but just want to make sure that you have everything you need there to create a quality assessment. So go ahead and tackle that for the Module 4 assignment, and you've successfully completed the Google Workspace course. Thank you very much.